Well, hello, darlings. Welcome to Queen TV. Happy New Year to you. This is Esther Adriana Santos here with you.
And this is Dr. Arnessa Bennett. Happy New Year. We're so glad that you're here. We got some exciting comments to tell you today. And first, let's start off with what's been going on since the last time that we met up on this show.
Oh my goodness. This is the turn of such a new season for us. And I
Yes.
love our behind the scenes conversations, by the way. I know we don't record these, but this is very much like our own conversations. This is meant to be a conversation between queens and a conversation between our audience as well, that I know they'll be able to resonate with what we're talking about, right? So, I
Yes.
mean, how many of us have just been ready to get out and rid of 2020? Like 2020 was the year that really stretched us, that
Yes.
really, tested our faith and also gave us opportunities for growth, right? And
Right. Right.
as excited as I was, Arnessa, to really turn the page and come into 2021, I couldn't end 2020 without really being grateful. I was so grateful to God because had it not been for the pandemic, I would have not been able to do and accomplish and, been able to be available for the things that I was. I was actually able to spend much more time with my husband at home and
Yes.
just revamp so many parts of my life. And so, gratitude was really something that I made
Yes.
sure I did at the end of 2020. Grateful for everything God did, for the opportunities. And of course, I can't go without saying you and I met in 2020. Thank God. Like, we
Yes.
wouldn't have Queen TV had it not been for us
No.
meeting through this amazing, coaching thing that we were doing. So yeah,
Yes.
it's been amazing. We took a short trip to Texas, and we had some fun out there and just really been relaxing and spending time together, um, revamping, thinking about new business ideas and business strategies. This is what's, since last year, I think we did our food session. We talked about, getting healthy, which we'll talk about a little bit more. And I feel like this whole health situation is not just a one day thing. It's a progressive journey,
It
right,
is
that
a
we go through.
lifestyle.
Yes, and our mindset changes
Oh,
every day.
yes.
The more that we do it, the more that our mind changes. And so I feel like I'm just continuously on this continuum of becoming healthy every day and learning new things about health and learning about myself, and just excited to start, a new year. And which, by the way, our segment is entitled New Year, New You. So this is
Right.
what this is about. New year, new you, new us, and ready to conquer like a queen, right? How about you, Arnessa? Like, what have you been up to? I know you've been up to some good stuff.
Well, toward the end of the year, I started to just reflect over 2020. And a lot of people say, oh, 2020 was so bad. It was the worst year. I truly cannot say that. 2020 was a good year for me because it helped me to spend more time with me, my family. I did some things that I had never done. I planted a garden. I, I painted my fireplace. And I did some decorating of my home and just a lot of great things. I graduated with my PhD in July.
Woo!
And then I had a little time to just kind of relax and say, relax, release. And then I worked on some campaigns, which I hadn't done that since, oh Lord, since the 80s. It had been a long time. And I have taken a position, and I'm not going to say too much about it yet until they're going to have a press release where it will be, I'm already hired, but they're going to have a press release where they will name all the people that, are new hires. And I'm really going into a whole different dimension of my life. I'm doing something that I've never done before. It's exciting, it's new. Of course, there's going to be some challenges, but I'm up to the challenges. And I'm just so thankful for the journey that God is sending me on. And it started in November. I started seeing so many miracles. And people think miracles are these big gigantic things that happen. But if you just look closely at your life, you'll start seeing miracles, and things were happening.
Yes.
And I knew it was a miracle. And it was like one thing after another, miracles from God. That's the only thing that only way I could explain it. But another thing I noticed, I was listening deeply to God lead me. And every step I took, God told me, like, go this way, don't go this way. Do this, don't do that. And I tell you, with me listening to God and following his directions, boy, he blew my mind with the opportunity that was presented to me. And I'll tell you more after they do the press release, but I'll tell you, God has just blown my mind. I mean, literally blown my mind with the things that have happened in this was in December.
Yeah, isn't it
So,
amazing, like the
ooh,
leading of the Spirit, how, as women of faith that we are, it is crucial, it is so important that we make sure that we're learning to hear the voice of God, because he is the
yes,
one leading us into new places, and
yes,
new places give us new graces. That's what I
yes,
just heard now. New places give us new graces. And so when we're walking in the place of God, we're walking in the grace of God. And he allows us to do things, experience things that maybe we didn't even know we could do before. But
mm-mm,
there's a grace, there is a favor. You're walking into places of favor
yes,
that
yes,
God just graced you and said, this is where you're supposed to be, because this is where you're going to prosper. And I know with that position that you took, I know that it's a place of grace for you. That's going to open multiple doors. And
yes,
God has been
yes,
talking to us about doors of
yes,
expansion, about doors of excellence, and about doors of access. It's the three different types of
yes,
doors that we're going to be coming into 2021.
yes,
And it's so crucial to hear that voice of God. When God says go, we go. When God
yes,
says, I've given you the green light to go and enter that door, you better believe by faith and
yes,
trust that what God is telling you is the place that you're supposed to be walking through. And so this is going to be an exciting year for 2021. There are a lot of
yes,
things out there. I don't like a lot of things that I do see, but that's not where my focus is. My
mm-mm,
focus is where God is leading me. And, it's the only way that we can get ourselves aligned, because if we focus on
yes,
the negativity out there, which there's so much, you turn on the news and within 5 minutes, your mind just gets bombarded
yes,
with all of these things that just do not belong in this
mm-mm,
clean space. I mean,
mm-mm.
granted, it's good to kind of find out a little bit of what's going on, but
That's what I have my husband for. He
exactly.
filters it and tell me, okay, this is what we need to do, and this is what we don't need to
I
do.
love that. I love that. And even that, it's like sometimes he starts going, I'm like, nope, I don't want to know. I don't want
Right.
to know. No more. Even if there's like a movie, and I love action movies, but once it starts getting a verge of violence, I'm like, nah, can't do it.
Right.
And this is what the walk of queenhood is about
Yes.
positivity. It's about enthusiasm, positive
Yes.
energy. energy and to guide us through the season. So, we're just excited. We're going to be, experiencing some major changes as well this year. And, I'll be sharing as time goes by, but it's a word of God, and he says go, and that's exactly what we're doing in this time. So, talking about new year, new you, right? So this is our theme. And initially when we talked about this segment, we thought about vision boards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, Arnessa, I know that you've done some vision board workshops in the past, as have I. What would you say are like the really important elements of a vision board that we must include in there, and why are they important?
Well, the main thing is it has to be something that you truly believe that you want. And you have to, the vision board is just to, what the Bible says, write the vision, make it plain. It's just
Yes.
so you can go to it easy, or anybody else. If you have a vision board, my husband or my kid can come in here and say, oh, mama wants some perfume. She likes Chanel. Write the vision, make it plain. It's not that hard. You can get words, you can get pictures. But when you keep these things on your mind, even when you are away from home, you may see something. Because I know, and this is just like almost like little miracles. Miracle is my thing. If I have something on my vision board, I can go to a store and automatically, because I've been looking at that on my vision board, I'm drawn to it. The price is right. The size is right. The color is right. Because in my vision, it's like having that tunnel vision. You know what you want. That's what your mind is always working on finding.
I love that. I love that. That is so key. And I guess what you're saying is about really being intentional in terms of like what you want and what you desire, right?
Right.
Because when you've programmed your mind to only focus on what your desires are and what you
Yes.
intend to manifest this year with the help of God, obviously, it kind of it doesn't have space for the noise around it, right? We don't have space for anything that doesn't belong in our vision.
Mm-mm.
And so goals become really important, right? And here's one of the reasons that I think goals are important for the year. Daily goals are important.
Yes.
Monthly goals are important. Quarterly goals are important, and yearly goals are important. That's how I break down my goals in my year. And having that yearly vision, a lot of people, the trend right now, it's like, what's the word of the year, right? Like if there is a word.
I got a word.
You got a word. What is your word? What is your word?
Bodacious.
Ooh.
Bodacious is my word. And I want to be bodacious in God. I want to know that if he tells me something to do, I can be bold enough to do it. And let me tell you some of the things that bodacious means. Outright, unmistakable, remarkable, noteworthy, excellent, admirable, attractive, voluptuous, bold, brilliant, commanding, dramatic, eye-catching, flamboyant, notable, prominent, remarkable, and striking.
I love adjectives. Awesome.
All of these things incorporate being bodacious. And it's, when people hear, they might say, oh, boy, that means everything I do is in a queenly and a godly manner. So you can use it for negative or you can use it for positive. So when the Holy Spirit tells me to say something, I'm going to be bold enough to say what he told me to say. And sometimes, people are, like, God, are you really telling me to say this? Are you really telling me to be confident in this position that I'm in, yes, you're
Yes.
gonna be bold
I
because
love
when I represent myself, I also represent God.
Mhm. I love that. I love that. And, I know that word goes so much with your personality, Arnessa. And for 2021, I think you could not have picked a better word, bodacious. It encompasses so many things. And it's a perfect balance between the spiritual, the natural, the things, who we are as women, who we are as queens. And I think that's a beautiful, beautiful word. And
Yes.
my 2021 word is called crowned. That
Oh,
is my 2021 word. If you don't know, for 2021, if you see me wearing my sash, I have it's Mrs. Corporate America. I'm Mrs. Central Florida. And I'm going for the Mrs. Corporate America here in Central Florida this year, 2021. And, this is the year for us women to be crowned and really come into our queenhood. And, this is not just about the physical manifestation of a crowning when this competition happens in June. This is about the mentality of queenhood because of what the crown represents. It's about
yes,
abundance. It's about positivity and enthusiasm and understanding your standards and boundaries as a queen and being
yes,
bold and all of these beautiful things that you were
yes,
talking about, Arnessa, right? So for this year is the year to be crowned because we wear a crown of favor in the sight of the Lord,
yes,
right? When we follow his guidance, as we were saying, it is the year to be crowned of beauty, crowned of favor, and he will give us beauty for our ashes, right?
yes, yes,
And
he
that
will.
includes the crown. And so this is the year to be crowned in many different ways, right? Coming away from our past, coming into the present, and really enjoying the abundance and the goodness and the faithfulness of God,
Yes,
right? Understanding
yes.
who he is as our king and
Mm-hmm.
understanding who we are as his daughters and as queens in the queendom, right? Because
Yes,
we are building
yes,
our queendom every day. And so this is what we learn. We learn who we are and identity. So this is definitely the year to be crowned. And so, yeah, for all of these reasons, it becomes incredibly important to do these vision goals, right? We understand that goals are important. And so what are the elements now that we will use in a vision board? So how would you start, Arnessa, doing a vision board? What are the supplies that you need? And how do you even start putting this together?
Well, you can start. A lot of people here lately, instead of getting, we've been back in the day, we've had a poster board. But
Yeah.
a lot of people are getting something like a notebook where they can put pictures, they can use the different pages and put the words, and you can take this with you. You can put it in your little tote bag. So even when you're away, you can be writing stuff down, writing words. You have pictures, you can tuck the pictures in there, glue them or paste them on. That's it. Just depends on what your preference is. But the main thing is you want to make sure that it's where you can see it every day. Now, when you were saying something about the crown, I and every time I was in a pageant that I won, before leading up to that pageant, every day I saw them putting that crown on my head. I would see, I mean, even before I knew anything about visualization, I would just constantly see myself. I can remember both times that I was salutatorium when I got my bachelor's and when I got my master's. I saw myself giving a speech. All while I was going to school, I'm like, okay, I see myself giving. I didn't know which one they were going to pick me for, but I saw myself. And with you, every day you need to see yourself with your name being called and them putting that crown on your head every day.
Amen. I received that for sure. That is the year 2021, the year to be crowned for sure. Amen.
Yes.
Amen. I totally received that. So, yeah, what you were saying in terms of putting our vision boards together and you saying how there are different ways of doing that, right? Like you're saying that we can do it in a notebook, we can do it in a big poster board, right? And materials, what do we use for materials when we want to put this together?
Get some scissors and start cutting. Get some old magazine. Ask your friends, do you have any magazines that you're not using? Cut out words, pictures. But when you cut out all the pictures, before you do that, think of 4 areas. Usually you can split the board in half. That's for, just starting out, because you can do as many areas if you want to. But it could be relationship, it could be wardrobe, it could be your house, it could be money. Just 4 things to start off with. And then if you get that done, you want to add some more, that's fine, because you're creating what you want, your life. What do you want in your life? I can remember I've done vision boards now for, oh Lord, I know 30 years. And I remember when I was single and I knew what kind of house I wanted, and I wanted my future spouse to have good credit and like to dance and be affectionate. I mean, I was detailed. And I want you to know my husband is all the things that I put on my vision board, and some I did not put on there. So this works because I was to the point where I could go out on a date, and if they did not pray over the food, it wasn't going to be a second date. It was certain words. If I heard certain words that were not positive, there was not a second date. Heaven forbid they cursed. Some people say cuss words. If they didn't go to church. So when you know what you want, when you hear what you don't want, can't have no second date with him.
I love that you said that, Arnessa. I love that you said that because I believe 2021 is the year for us to really be intentional. Well, I don't want to go too deep into this because I know we got a segment coming up on relationships. So we're just going to touch this a tad, and just in terms of goals, right?
Okay.
But for any single women out there, like really wanting to get married and really looking for the spouses, this is the year to become intentional, right? And when we talk about friendships, right? You're talking about your list and you're talking about your husband list. But how about if we had that as a friendship list?
Oh.
What if we had a list, right? Because even all the things that you mentioned, like, could very well go on a friendship list. Like, the speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like how they speak to you,
right.
The words they say, the words that they use, the energy level, like all of these things, you got to check off on a list and say, does this person, for these new goals in this new year that I have, fit the criteria that are going to be part of my circle, whether it be just your regular circle, your inner circle? Like, do they match that criteria? Because listen, if we are queens with goals, that is important.
Well, that's what I was going to interject. Let me just stick a little pin in there.
Awesome.
We mirror who we are. So if I'm tore up from the floor up, that's the kind of people I'm going to be attracting. Because some people say, I don't know why I keep messing with these guys that don't want to be committed and da-da-da-da-da.
That's real. That is real right there. Yeah.
Look in the mirror. If you playing, and so the best thing to be is to be, that's why it's so important to be your best self. Be your best self so you can attract those type of people.
Yes. I love that.
When my husband and I started dating, he had been a faithful, wonderful husband to his wife that passed. people would come to me and say, you just don't know how good your husband is. Because I think his wife might have been in a wheelchair. And he said, oh, he would have her dressed so pretty, and he would have her looking so good for church. He always had her looking good, this and that, and he would cater to her and this and that. So he had done the work. So with me, I had done the work. So when we got together, we were a match because both of us were kind, Christian people who had a lot of love that they wanted to share. Amen. And when we went to dinner and he started talking about stuff, it was some of the same stuff that was on my list and on my vision board of things that I wanted to do in the future. Wow. It was a no-brainer. Wow. I could listen to key words that he say or key phrases, and I'm like, yeah. But this guy is like, he didn't read my bill.
He read your list.
There were other guys, when I went to dinner with them, they was talking about, ain't nobody got no money, and it's hard for people out here in this world. Oh, I don't want to hear that, because I don't believe it's hard. I believe God is the source of my supply. Yes. So long as there's a God, I'm going to have what I need.
Absolutely.
So you just got to know who you are. You got to be tunnel vision on what you want in life. And if anything else comes that don't look like what you want, you just need next. Next. You got to stay tunnel vision.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing is pretty much, and I say this to the people I coach and mentor and my spiritual kids, who we are really sets the standard for who we want around our life, right? Because all of those things in your list were already who you were. And so you wanted somebody with those same attributes that were really important to you, that you value for yourself. Because, right, how can we set the standard for a best friend or for a husband that we don't even have ourselves? How can we require that of someone else if it does not exist inside of us, right? And so it begins with us first.
That's why people call people gold, G-O-L-D, diggers. Because they don't have no gold. They trying to get somebody else's gold.
Exactly.
But I had the gold already.
Yes.
And I was looking for somebody who already had goals like I have.
Yes.
But it's just like this old friend of our family, she used to say, now if you're a drug addict, you need to be with another drug addict. And I was just like, oh, look. He said, yeah. He said, because if you're not a drug addict and you give it a drug addict, the drug addict gonna take all your money. Like, so what he was trying to say is birds of a feather usually flock together. So when you see yourself around people that are not worthy, I won't even say worthy, but are not living a Christian standard life, you need to check yourself and like, okay, why am I hanging around with this girl and all she do is lie, and she cheating on her husband, and she doing all this other stuff? Why am I hanging with her? You got to start looking at yourself like, okay, is this something? Am I wanting to be like that? Is that why I'm hanging with her?
Absolutely.
You got to check yourself, because I'm very particular about who I hang around with or who I call friend, because I don't call a lot of people friend. And it's because, especially with the life, I'm married to a minister, because I can remember, and we're getting all off subject, but let me say this. I can remember I had this girlfriend, and every time she had a birthday, she wanted to go to a club. You know what a club is, a club?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I said, I tell you what, I'll take you out to dinner, because now there are restaurants that serve liquor. That's different than going to a club. And she just couldn't understand why. Well, what's wrong with going to a club? You just so pretty. Because that's not who I am. Now, I'll take you out to a nice dinner, and I'll even get you a gift. But I'm not going to no club to no birthday party. That was my standards.
I love it. I love it. You know, and here's the other thing I really like about what you just said. You weren't afraid to say what you wanted. Because I think many times with friendships, you know, we're afraid to disappoint the other person. We're afraid to like feel like, well, what if they don't want to hang out with me anymore? Like, especially if you don't have a lot of friends, you're like, well, if I say this, she's going to take offense. If I say this, you know, and we've got to be, like you said, bodacious and bold, right? That's what it takes in order, because we're setting the standards. As queens, we set the standard.
Yes.
We don't follow people's standards.
Right.
We set standards. And they're high standards, by the way.
Right.
You know, the walk of queenhood isn't for the weak and the weary. Like,
right.
this is a walk that really takes courage. It takes bravery, and to be true to ourselves for what we want. Because then what happens? We end up resenting the relationship.
Right.
Right? Because then we're settling for things like, because what if you would have said, just to kind of appease her, and it was her birthday? I mean, that would have given you every single reason in the world, right, to say yes to her, because it's her birthday. You want to make her feel good on her birthday. Perfect excuse. But, you know, you get to show up as who you really are and be true, number one, to yourself. And because you're true to yourself, you can be true to the friendship.
Right.
Because otherwise, you'd probably end up resenting her as a friend. And then all these ucky feelings that show up that we don't know where they come from is because we do what? We compromise, right? We compromise our true feelings and what we want and what we desire.
But you know yourself, when you are married to a minister, it's certain things you can't just do like everybody. You know, you can't be dropping it like it's hot.
Preach it to me, for sure. I hear you.
I mean, you just can't be, you know, I see people doing stuff, and not most of it, I don't want to do it, but I can't be doing like the, you know, the world be doing, and then I'm going to be Elder Bennett's wife. It just don't, you know, you could be in the world, but not of the world.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And, you know, I think now in 2021, we are getting clearer as to what that looks like. 2020 was a season of quarantine that really made us think about who we are.
Yes.
Made us reprioritize our life, our friendships, the people that we want to stay close. And I think we've been able to determine, like, who are the people that are with us through thick and thin, right? Because we've gone through some stuff as well, not to say that it's been perfect, but we've also been able to see, like, okay, who's there when the bad gets bad, you know, and the good is good? Who can celebrate you equally, right, when the good gets good?
Right.
And who's there with you when you're going through a little bit of a challenging time? And I think moving forward, that's what becomes just so incredibly important, is making sure our relationships, you know, don't distract us from our goals and walking into everything that God has for us, right?
Yes.
I know we talked about a couple of others. Did you want to go into a couple other goals in there?
Well, I know this year, going into 2021, I feel like an astronaut. I'm going into uncharted territory. You know, I've taken this position. It's totally new. It's perfect for me. It's a dream opportunity. And I noticed I was talking to you earlier. Today I went up and down some stairs a couple of times, and I was kind of like out of breath. And so that was the Holy Spirit said, Arnessa, you have got to work on getting your and I have upper respiratory issues sometimes anyway, but I gotta work on my weight. I gotta work on being more healthier, going up and down. Now I can walk all day and not get out of breath. But soon I go up some stairs, I don't know, it's like kryptonite. When I go up some stairs, it's like so I gotta work on going up and down those stairs. I am being more conscious of everything that I eat. I'm doing a low carb, but even with that, just because some people think just because you're on low carb, you can just eat everything, that's not low carb. But I still want to monitor even the amount, the portions that I eat, and see when I looked around. I am I'm a multiplier. It's like I got a lot of stuff. I'm trying to, and this was a word that you helped me with. I'm trying to revamp my dressing room. I've given like 6 trash bags, good stuff, good clothes and purses and stuff. But I still need to do a little more revamping of my personal area, like my dressing room and my office. I'm gonna come in here and kind of do some sprucing up.
Yes, yes, I love that. And we're on this health journey together. I'm
Yes.
so glad that we get to talk about our goals together. As being in a low carb diet myself, my husband and I just started walking again this past weekend. We have this beautiful like trail area near our house, and
Oh, that's
it has
great.
this beautiful lake, and the birds are always there. Like, I love not just I wouldn't say like I go on nature hikes a lot, but I do love I love God's creation, and I'm always
Yeah.
so inspired when I'm out, even though I don't do it too often. But I love anything by the water. I love anything with birds and flowers. Like, call me crazy. Birds talk to me. I
No.
talk to the birds. Like, I just love just being in contact with nature, and it gives me such a sense of connection with God. It inspires me. And
Yes.
so my husband and I love to take that little trail walk and spend time together. And we're either like pray or just talk,
Oh
or,
yeah.
I'm taking pictures all the time. And, even though I can go through the same trail and I always can find a different picture, different angle, a beautiful bird, a beautiful flower, something different that's like, I feel like an adventure that God has us on every time we walk down that road. So, just,
Good.
yeah, just,
Your own little Eden.
yes. And it becomes fun. It's, we don't have to make this workout health thing dreadful. Right?
Right.
We get to choose the way on how we make it fun. We
Yes.
get to choose ways on how we can make it beautiful. I am all about making things beautiful and things lovely, and how we can beautify everything around us. And so, my workout has to be beautiful. What I'm wearing has to be beautiful, just because it
Hmm.
inspires me to do better,
Right.
right? It
Exactly.
inspires me, it motivates me, it gives me energy, it gives me enthusiasm to do what I love to do. I even have my cookbook. It's like even pretty with like its gorgeous colors, and it makes me want to open it and plan my meal, which is a bit tedious to do, but I get to open this gorgeous cookbook and just look at the pretty pictures in there and make it fun and make it desirable. Like, I
Yes.
have my worksheets that I'll work on and do my meal planning. So absolutely, for me, is drinking a lot more water, drinking much more
Yes.
of my herbal teas,
Hmm.
right? And getting on a really good just a meal plan, just really nutritious foods that make me
Mm-hmm.
feel good, will make me feel up leveled so I can work because, I had, of course, we just went through the holidays and Christmas. Green bean casserole, by the way, that we talked about in our last segment.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, I did some rice and beans, yeah, which I hadn't done in a while, but let me tell you, they were so good.
Well, it's all right it's all right. The thing about eating low carb is not no carb, long as you know that.
Don't give me too much permission. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I had a couple of plates and did I enjoy it?
Yes.
No words to tell you how much. And that rice just tasted better than ever. Like, I don't think my rice has ever come out that good. And I savored every morsel, every spoonful. And I know that once the year was ending, I was like, okay, it's like, let me savor this, because it gets me sleepy afterwards. I don't want to do anything. And it doesn't help me be productive. Yeah. That's the other part of it, right?
Just drink. When you do that, when I normally eat some carb, like I had some dressing for Thanksgiving, Christmas. I think I had them for both. But when I know that that's going to be that meal that I cheat on, I make sure that for the rest of the day, I drink a lot of water and try to, flush it.
That's very good. Yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah, definitely getting into a lot more water. I do my alkaline water and, just staying intentional on that food. And, I'm glad you mentioned, the decluttering and revamping, because I feel like I've been doing that for a year now, and I feel like I'm still not done. I just gave away like 4 boxes to Goodwill, and like I still have a ton of stuff to give away. I'm selling some things, some pieces that, I've looked throughout the years at the things that I've purchased that are nice, but I feel like I'm like at a whole nother level of nice. Me too. Like I don't just want nice anymore. Oh, that's nice. No. Yeah. Like, I just revamped my kitchen this past, they had like some amazing sales. And so I got this really beautiful electric tea kettle, pink, by the way. It's beautiful. And it total inspired me to have like more tea. And I got a pink toaster matching the pink tea kettle, just like everything. I want everything to feel beautiful. Everything that I'm doing in my kitchen, on my desk, like in my bedroom, everything to have just that touch of beauty, that touch of glam. I have my flowers always on my desk that my husband buys me. Like, I want to be so intentional this year and making sure that what I'm buying, like, I am loving, right? Yes. I'm loving. My spiritual daughter asked me, Mom, what do you want for Christmas this year? Like, I know you're very picky in what you want. There's specific things that you like. And I know you have list after list on I have an Amazon wish list for like everything. And so she said, I'm gonna do that. It's a long list. And so I said, I really need a desk lamp. Like, I have a desk lamp that I've been eyeing, and this is what I want. And so that's this gorgeous desk lamp that I have, like, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's sparkly, and it's like, it's not just like any blah kind of lamp. No, it is a gorgeous. And she's like, she came over, she's like, Mom, that is like such a you lamp. It's a gorgeous lamp. And everything's just got to feel that way, because I'm a feeler. Yeah. Like, I feel things that I have, and I want my home to feel that way as well. Right. And I'm inspired. So
it's a representation of you. And as we go through life, I'm in my 60s. This is my 61st chapter. And things change, and you want. I can remember when I was in my 20s, I liked nice things, like you said, but then each year I wanted to take it up a notch, like that frame, the gold frames, and, more opulent, more elegant. So it's nothing wrong with that. That's the queen in us coming out. You get two different stages in your life when you just want something that's different. Your wants change. And I think one of the things in the past, I wanted a lot of stuff, but I'm to the point now I want quality. So it was quantity at first. Now I want quality. Now when I buy something, like for instance, instead of buying 10 purses, the one I want now, the one purse is as much as the 10 purses.
Yes.
So as you get older, you want that better quality.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I think this Christmas, like, really, I felt like was part of that transition. And which, by the way, we were going to do a segment on our Christmas. Listen, y'all, we did this super cool thing. Arnessa, your idea was so fabulous. We did this amazing Christmas exchange. We were supposed to record this as a segment. This didn't happen.
It was just too much. It was just for us. It just turned out to be just for us. It just turned
out for us. But listen, let me tell you, that was just such a beautiful gesture between queens. And this is why it matters to have an incredible inner circle, because these are the things that happen, right? And we did this beautiful, like, Christmas exchange. We sent each other a box. Listen, your box was like, I mean, hallelujah. It was absolutely beautiful. Precious.
It was from the heart.
I know. Trust me, I feel it. Every time I use the things, they make me feel just amazing, inspired. Like, it's a gift that keeps on giving. That's what I feel like it's done, and it totally up levels. So this is something that we kind of did behind the scenes, and we gave each other these beautiful things from the heart. We sent each other a box, and you're all the way in Arkansas. I'm all the way in Florida, right? We shipped each other these beautiful boxes. And that was so fun. Like, that was incredible.
It was.
So my husband was like, what do you want for Christmas? I revamped, like, I got a new Chanel kit of makeup. I got a whole makeup Chanel kit.
Yay! Don't they package everything so beautifully?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I was going to do a post or something on it. It was just so beautiful. There's no difference. You said quality. Trust me. Like, instead of, buying these different drugstore foundations that, we always get. No, I went for quality. I sat down at the counter. They, did the Chanel experience of matching foundation and the blush and the bronzer, and, like, I'm like, I want it all, almost all, not totally all. I did, several pieces here and there. And what a difference. I mean, what a difference when we focus on quality, and my face feels amazing. And today I got from you this beautiful eyeshadow kit, which I wore today and just felt amazing and beautiful and opulent and just gorgeous. It makes such a difference when you wear things that are quality items, and it's less about quantity and, more about what you deserve. So this is it, queens. Like, you get to choose what you love. You get to choose your standard of living, not only in your relationships, but also in your health, in your well-being, how you want to transform your life with your nutrition and exercises. And you get to live life on your own terms. And you know what? You get to have God beside you, guiding you, leading you. You get to ask him, God, what do you have for me? Which way is the way I should go? And the Spirit will surely lead you, because it is his plan for you. Right. More than your plan, it is the plans that he has for you. And that's what it says in Jeremiah 29. For I know the plans I have for you. And they're plans of good. They're plans of hope to give us a future. So you know what? If you don't know what 2021 is going to look like, and you're kind of like, well, I don't know my goals, here's what I'm going to tell you. Ask God.
Yes.
Ask God and he will show you. He will give to you the keys of the kingdom if you
Yes.
just ask him. And this is what we're here to do, to inspire each and every one of you queens and just help you to live your most inspired, fabulous life from one queen to another.
Yes.
We just wish you the best of 2021. You know, this is what we're here for.
And instead of thinking quality, instead of buying, like we were saying, instead of buying 10 average whatever products or purses, save your money up. Just save it up for a couple of months or a year even. And then for Christmas, get you, even if you might save like $1,000, then get you something really fabulous with that money instead of a lot of little things. And it takes you to another level. It really does.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've done amazing as a
I think
first
we have to.
segment, yes, for 2021. And Queens, we just love you out there and want to let you know that
Yes.
we're here for you. You know, comment below on our pages. We have these segments on each of our pages. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and on Facebook.
Yes.
And, you know, share what you have loved the most. What has been a helpful tip for you in this session? What has helped
Yes.
you? What is a great takeaway that you have that you're going to run with, that you're going to run with the vision this year? Shoot us a DM. Put a comment in there and make sure you follow us. We'd love to hear from you. And we absolutely love you and desire the very best 2021 year for each and every single one of you.
Yes.